Okay, and I do not remember what we were doing. Right, we were charging up the battery for our car. Nito Cachito says, wait, are we doing the dinosaur colo? I don't know what's going on. Okay, I need to stock up on food. I stood by the battery to remind myself that we need the battery. Right, and we need to be making our fish. Hey, Foxling, how's it going? And hello, Lulu. I'm doing good, just getting the stream started for the day, getting ready to get back into knocking out some zombies. Hey, Sentient Cookie. Good having everyone tune in. I figure once we get past, like, you know, the first, the goal for today is to finish up wiping out Riverside. We've made really good progress there. We are down to kind of like the last block or two, then, you know, ride around to Sirens a little bit, make sure we clear out the stuff in the immediate area. But I do expect Riverside to fall today. I actually expect it to fall on Wednesday, but the game decided to just throw bad weather at us again and again and again, to the point that we just didn't get much time actually pushing Riverside, which was a shame. But that said, it was a very productive day last time, because we hit tailoring 10, we were at carpentry 10, we're about to be at cooking 10. So, like, we got a lot of skills done, we just didn't get what we wanted to get done. The speed at which it goes from, like, considered hot to not hot is just super fast. Once again, just made too much fish. I do that a lot. It's fine, we're just gonna build up our calories to start putting on weight again. Looks like we also must have caught a bunch of small fish, because we're eating these and it's not doing much for our hunger or our calories. Yeah, that whole stack weight is only like 2 kilograms, so these are small fish. That's fine, we'll just eat them all. Got a bunch more in my bag. Okay. So we got a lead pipe, we got a crowbar and 2 spears as backup weapons, we got some nightsticks, plenty of knives, we've got food, check our water. We're good on water. See if this battery's charged up yet. It is. So we just got to put that in our brand spanking new fire truck. Alright, doesn't look like any of this is ready for harvest, so that's fine. But yeah, our new ride we got at the end of stream yesterday. That was the last thing we did, was picked up this vehicle. I had to put a really crappy battery into it just to get it home, but that's what we were charging up, was the good battery that had no charge left in it. Once again, I've forgotten my screwdriver. I think it's in the back here. Oh, right, I got a bunch of spare weapons in the fire truck as well. On the trip home that we took on the last stream, I was running the sirens the whole way home, so there's a really good chance while we're driving out to Riverside, we're going to see a bunch of zombies in the road. That was deliberate. We're just trying to deal with that. Where did this crap battery come from? Where did I get this crap battery? It must have come from a wreck. It's only 20-something%. Let's just check on a shelf back here. I probably really do need to combine my things with vitamins. Yeah, one thing I will do is I'm not going to do like a full like reading of the notes kind of thing, but once I get to the point that we start getting like 20-30 people in stream, because usually that happens not too long after we get started, kind of go over the Thursdoid to let people know what's up and coming for Project Zomboid. Because in my opinion, it's all good news, despite the fact there are one or two things I know some people are not going to be a big fan of. But I think it'll all be fine. It's a ways off too, just to be clear. This is the next major update, not the incremental ones we'll see between then. This is the one that'll probably be like 3, 6, however many months down the road. Yeah, so generally as I drive around, when I'm going away from the base, I will not be running my sirens. But when I am returning to the base, I will run my sirens. And the entire idea is to draw any zombies within earshot of the road, to keep drawing them towards the road so we keep wiping them out. I am driving a little bit slower today because, like I said, yesterday to somewhere around this area we ran our sirens before I turned them off. So there's a good chance we will find more zombies than usual along the road, because it's the first time we've done that. But one thing I will do, and I'm not going to do it right now, is we are going to keep our eyes out for good parts, because we'll gradually upgrade this fire truck to make it as good as we can. So like I know it has a small gas tank, so eventually we'll swap out for a bigger one when I find one. I probably should actually look at all the vans and crap I have parked at the base that I'm never going to use because box trucks keep almost getting me killed. So check to see if they have any better parts and patch them up, grab those parts, put them in this instead, that kind of deal. Phasnatic is asking, Raw, where is the best place to find katanas? The only place I found is a random zombie. The only two places I know you can find katanas in the game are, one, survivor houses, which are completely randomly generated which houses will be survivor houses, so, you know, you have no way of predicting that. That, and it's very rare they have them. Most katanas you will find will be in zombies. I haven't found any solid logic that says they're more favored here than there, though generally I would say I found them more in the outskirts of town than like right in the middle of town. But it is completely RNG of just, you kill zombies, you'll find a zombie with a katana. I don't believe they have, like, a waiting to where they show up or anything, unfortunately. That's just a big part of, they're super rare. There's not a way to, like, target farm for katanas beyond just kill much zombie. And the same holds true for machetes as well. Like, honestly, the only weapons I feel like you can kind of target farm when it comes to the zombies is, if you go to, like, warehouses and places like that, you'll find lots of, like, hammers and mallets. If you go to police station areas, like where there's police, you can find nightsticks and, like, pistols and shotguns. Around fire departments, you can find fire axes. Otherwise, I can't think of very, like, there's one or two places where you can find, like, a specific zombie or two that, not specific zombie, but, like, you'll find, like, a little hunting camp, and that hunting camp has a higher chance of having, like, certain items, or, like, you can target farm the large backpacks by rolling around and just looking for the giant packs in the middle of nowhere. But there's not much as far as zombie loot I've been able to find that you could, like, target farm that's worth target farming from what I found. We're due for a helicopter, aren't we? I don't remember when the last helicopter was on the last stream. I feel like it was a good, like, week or so ago in regards to in-game time, which would tell me I'm basically due, because it seems to get them, like, every 8 to 10 days or something like that. Now we have no need to tear apart any clothes, we have no need to do any tailoring. The only time tailoring will ever be done from now on is if we get hurt. We'll, you know, patch up our clothes. Or if I find long johns, I'd patch those up. But that'd be it. So that's done. So that's nice, because that's a high grind skill that we've gotten knocked out. Still want to do more work on the mechanic and metalworking when the weather sucks, because I'll need that to fix up this truck and make it as good as it can. Like, it's in good shape now, but it has some parts that are suboptimal. Like, its gas can, or its gas tank is small. I'd rather have a large one. Or I think, isn't huge the biggest? It doesn't matter. I'll put a bigger gas tank in it. That's the point. I'll check, like, the brakes and all that, look for, like, performance brake pads and suspension and all that, and get extra tires. This is going to be our mainstay vehicle, is the plan. Big seats? Not that I'm aware of. To my knowledge, there's just seats. And it's just, you have seats for sports regular, or sports standard, and heavy vehicles. But to my understanding, I think all of them give you 20 storage by default? I could be wrong, I have organized, so mine's 26. But, they can hold more. Alright, prediction time. I spoke of the helicopter, and the helicopter has, decided to grace us with its presence right at the get-go. Okay, so the rules with the helicopter and whether or not we survive, and I'll say this every single time, is after the helicopter leaves and we go to sleep, if at that time we do not have a life-threatening injury, then we have survived. If we have taken an injury any point from right now until we sleep, after the helicopter leaves, if we take an injury at any point during that time and it ends up being fatal, like it gives us zombie infection or we bleed out or whatever, then we have not survived. I am not sure where I'm taking this helicopter. I'm going to go with the hope that we have enough time to get to Riverside. So we're just going to keep going like we were going, and I'm going to try and hit like the south edge of Riverside with this. You learned your lesson last night, or last time with that? Yeah, and to be clear, it's not that I always survive. I have died more than one occasion to helicopter event, either directly or it putting us off balance to the point that we couldn't recover. Or didn't recover, I shouldn't say couldn't. It just didn't work out. Because you've probably seen, like, for example, we had Ekron where it's like, oh, we're like totally clear, I don't need to worry about this. And just things got ridiculously busy. Awesome. You always want someone voting no, because if no one votes no or no one votes yes, no one gets anything. Because there has to be some people voting on either side of stuff. Yeah, but we'll just see how far we get towards Riverside before the helicopter shows up. We'll just set up wherever it drops us. I don't know. The good news is you're betting fake internet points that don't have any monetary value, so like, not that big a deal. Versus when you do a proper gamba. Okay, so yeah, zombies should not be able to hide behind this vehicle. It is not quite tall enough. I mean, other than a crawler, but that's true of any car. Number of zombies I have hit with a car on this specific road because these trees obscure the vision a lot of times where the cars are. Like, this road has single-handedly been the reason we've retired one or two vehicles. Yeah, the brakes on this do need to be replaced. That's an early one we're gonna fix, because the brakes on this, they don't suck. They're not terrible, but they're certainly not good. I do know if the helicopter shows up here, we're driving up the road. Like, I don't mind stopping where we gotta stop to do the helicopter thing. I will specifically not do it in some place that's super dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous isn't even because of number of zombies or anything, it's just these trees. We actually have a decent number of zombies here. Just position to get them all on one side of me, so we're only fighting from one angle. Really like to get farther than this. Shouldn't be bad. If I get just this way up the road, there's plenty of open places I can fight with the helicopter. Okay, Lulu. Hope you had a good lurk. Yep, okay. I'll actually... Here, let me just get around this corner. Here. So, I would say, before you worry about getting anything into Project Zomboid itself, or just like the little beginner's guide kind of thing, the very first thing I'd do is hit escape. Go over here to where it says options. Go to the display tab. So the first thing I'd do is you see this blood decals where it says, on mine it says none. I think on your, like by default it'll be 100%. If you end up having performance problems with the game, where, you know, as you're playing the game, killing zombies, your performance starts getting a little bit worse as time goes on, consider turning the blood decals down. What this is every time you kill a zombie, it puts a little blood splatter, that kind of thing. Those never go away, so over time you get more and more and more. Eventually it can become a significant performance implication. So that's one. If you're seeing performance problems, you can consider turning it down. This is mostly a problem when you're doing really long runs and or runs that have really high zombie populations. The next one, and I believe this is default this now, if it's not, I would recommend switching it to either 50 or 75%, the ISO cursor visibility. And I'll show you what that is in a couple minutes. But you want that to be high. The next thing, and this is a preference thing, is show mouse cursor while aiming. That's when you play and you hold the right mouse button to aim a weapon, your mouse will disappear. Losing track of your mouse in this game will get you killed. So some people prefer this on, some people don't. But that is one to strongly consider. But more than anything else, this aim outline down here, it starts at ranged. I strongly encourage you to switch it to any weapon, and I can show you what that is here in a moment as well. But those are settings I would strongly consider. So yeah, so if we watch the zombie here, when the zombie gets in range, a green outline will appear around it. That is that aim outline. So non-range, 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 in range. And it'll also tell you what zombie you are going to hit when you go and do your swing. The cursor visibility, you see that little circle with a line on it? That's the way my character's aiming. That's what we turned up the visibility on. So it's really good to have that. When you're dealing with really bright or dark places, it's super easy to see it. The issue kind of comes into place there in between. So if you're dealing with like a kind of rainy day where the visibility's not terrible but not good, that sometimes you can lose track of that circle and line pretty easily. And again, having the mouse cursor not disappear also helps with that cause of not losing track. I have a couple other tricks I'll show you, but I want to quickly get into position for this helicopter first. Because usually I'll waste a bunch of time on it. You know what, actually, I will waste time on it. So, you see the zombie here. I'm going to deliberately push him over using space. Now, if you stand on top of a zombie, or another zombie stands on top of a zombie, that zombie can't get up or hurt you or anything. Unless it's a crawler, don't stand on crawlers. But any regular zombie, I can sit here, I can enjoy a salad, I can do all that, it's fine. I'm not going to stay, like normally I'll sit there and like eat a salad, prepare stuff, do all sorts of stuff on top of the zombie just to, you know, just really make the point home. But we do have a helicopter coming, so I am trying to not rush, but trying to get to a better position to make the helicopter useful for me. But that's another pointer. Another thing is when you go to fight the zombies, as best you can try and line them up as if they were trying to queue to like get an autograph or something from you. So you don't want big groups. Basically you want them to be the way you're facing, not perpendicular. And the reason for that is if you line them up, when you accidentally knock them over by hitting them with a crowbar or whatever, now all the other zombies will Congo line over their friend, keeping them out of the fight until there's a big enough gap for that zombie to get back up. So it can be very useful to, it's like, kind of take the zombies in turns versus trying to fight them all at the same time. When you do perpendicular, the reason that gets super dangerous, even with multi-hit, is if I were to go, like, hit the zombie in the middle, and I miss the ones on the outer edges because they're too far, I've now stopped myself to hit that one in the middle, and then the other zombies will just overtake me, which gives me a very strong chance of getting hurt. And I did mention this the other day, but I will repeat the advice, and this is for anyone who's new to the game. My single biggest advice I would give any new player to Project Zomboid is slow down. A lot of people approach this game like how you would play, say, like Left 4 Dead or State of Decay or one of these other games where you're running around, you're jumping fences, and then you get into a fight with a zombie, and the moodle in the top right appears that says moderately exerted, and suddenly you're not just doing less damage. It's not like a 5 or 10% damage penalty. It's like a 20-30% damage penalty that it's taking you a full like 30% more hits to kill a zombie, which is 30% more stamina you're burning. Oh yeah, and as Arrows1 is saying, expect to die a lot. Like when you first pick up the game, expect to go into a fight with a zombie. Maybe you kill the zombie, maybe you don't, but expect to get like scratched up, lacerated, bitten, and killed. Like, even if you don't die in the moment, you take injuries that ultimately get you killed. That's Project Zomboid. That's the way we all started. Once you get to the point where you're confident fighting a single zombie, then you step up to killing multiple. You learn how to do that. Pretty soon you get to the point where you can start taking on groups to full-on hordes. But yeah, it'll work its way up. Another thing is when it comes to slowdown. Let's say like we are, not full-on exertion, but fairly exerted. So like moderate to high exertion, for example. And we bump into 20 zombies and we go, oh no, there's no way we can fight this right now. We don't have the weapons, we don't have the stamina, like, we're just not in a situation we can fight it. The one thing is, as long as you're not at like maximum tiredness, exertion, or like super overburdened, you outwalk the zombies. Like they chase you, your regular walking speed is faster than their shuffling speed. You can just walk away from your problems. Like, very quickly you learn to just take advantage of the fact that you are faster. And of course that goes out the window if you turn on sprinters. But the moment you kind of recognize that, hey, if I just walk away, I'll be okay, it really helps keep you from panicking. Hey, Sugar, how's it going? Another thing is, a lot of people, they'll play like the first character too, and they'll sit there and go, how are the kills? The kills are going great. We're at about 36,500. We have seen that we're going to be having a helicopter any time now, so I'm trying to get to South Riverside to actually fight the helicopter at Riverside. You know, draw out the zombies, get the kills there. We'll see if I get there, because I'm have to stop to... Yep, in my playthrough I have helicopter set to sometimes, so the helicopter shows up roughly 2 to 3 times a month. And I think it's been like a good in-game week or so since we've had a helicopter, so it's about time, because sometimes about every like 8 to 10 days, give or take, you'll see a helicopter. By default it's just once. But yeah, once you realize that you walk faster than the zombies and all that, it makes it a lot easier to keep calm. But what I was going to say is there's a lot of people who fall into the trap of trying to be super sneaky about how they play, and it's cool if that's the playstyle you want to go for. I actually would say that sneaking and creeping around, in my opinion, is harder than just fighting it out. Because when you just fight it out, you can usually predictably keep most of the zombies on one side of you, and it's very rare you have to worry about zombies ambushing you and all that kind of stuff. I do not have the extended helicopter event, so it is just the regular news chopper. So it's just going to fly around, make a bunch of noise, get the zombies all riled up. That's what it's going to do. But we are playing at 16 times pop, so you know, it's a whole lot of zombies to be riled up. Okay, and I'm trying not to get too I know I'm skipping a bunch of zombies now, which normally I don't do. I'm figuring we're going to have the helicopter any time now. So I really want to get to Riverside itself to deal with this, because I do want the helicopter to draw out the zombies for me. So there's a good chance all these zombies I'm skipping I am just going to be dealing with in a minute. Because my thought is there's a parking lot over here. It's pretty decent size, nice open space. It's probably a good place to fight a bunch of zombies from. But yeah, so now I'm not in a rush because this is where actually I'm figuring where we're going to fight from. So another thing is once you get to like Nimble 2 in that, if you watch, this is just how little danger you're in. With Nimble 2 and higher, I believe it's Nimble 2 as a cutoff, that zombie can never catch me if I'm not swinging. Like it'll run up, it'll start the grab animation, but you can get out of range as that animation's going and you'll be fine. But yeah, so like instead of sneaking around, let's pretend this is a house. I can't see through the windows and know if there's a zombie. Most of the time with houses, I won't just like try and creep in. I'll walk up to the door and mash space a couple times while holding right mouse button to shove the door to make a whole bunch of noise inside that room. Because usually what that does is if you have zombies in the bathrooms or the bedrooms, whatever, they'll all get all riled up and they'll start banging on all the doors. So you're no longer guessing where the zombies are. You can very distinctly hear where they are. And that's a good way to prevent yourself from getting caught by, you know, the classic bathroom horde or whatever. Because you get them all riled up and you go, oh, I can hear the zombies absolutely destroying that door. And you'll notice the only close call we had with that type of thing this playthrough was because I hadn't done that. Some other things you can do to help yourself out. Say I wanted to loot this building and I wasn't in like a super dire situation. I would take a moment to do a walk around the outside of the building first, clear out any zombies I see, and then go in the building. And just that way, you know, if there's a horde like right here, that they don't just stroll up and get us. Yeah, you can also mash E or click on the door real fast. I don't know if it matters at all, but I seem to just have better luck when I go and actually shove the door. It seems, I don't know if it's louder or if it's just completely 100% confirmation bias, just me thinking it's better, and therefore I see when it works out as evidence it's better, even if it's not true. Give the horn a little honk. I don't want to go full sirens quite yet, not till after the helicopter's sorted. Because I figure there's no reason not to do that with the helicopter showing up. If it's in range of that horn, that helicopter's going to bring it too. This just might give me the advantage of being able to fight some zombies, sit down, fight some zombies, sit down, versus have to do it all in like one big slog, which is where things can potentially be dangerous, because, you know, you start exerting, start getting tired, and it's much harder to break away. Greed will absolutely kill you in this game. You'll stay longer, you'll stay off balance. So it is worth considering when you're looting houses, like, what am I here for? What do I need? What do I want? And actually help use that as determining if you even bother. Because, like, I'm super guilty of this in most playthroughs. Not really this one, but most playthroughs is just hitting a neighborhood and going, okay, well, I'm just going to loot every single house. And so I'll be sitting there on, you know, 4 or 5 cabinets full of non-perishable food. I'll have, like, 3 or 4 cabinets of tools and guns, and, you know, I have basically all the books I could need. Like, you know, I really don't need anything from the house, but I'll still just go popping in to get the loot. And honestly, like, interior spaces like houses, the prison, hospitals, those are the places that get you in the most trouble. Because both, you know, it's become a joke that, you know, corners and doors are what get you. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Lamprey, you know what I'm going to actually do? Before I forget, because Arrows popped in, I'm going to drop a shout out for them, as well as Mr. Lamprey. Arrows plays Project Zomboid among other games. Does dad jokes, all sorts of fun. Come on, Nightbot, you can get your stuff together. Ooh, Rimworld. Excellent. Rimworld's a good time. We do Rimworld on Sunday. So tomorrow's more Project Zomboid, but then after that we'll do more Rimworld on Sunday. Then you also have Mr. Lamprey, who most of you probably already... I mean, you probably already, most of you know both of them, but still. You know, also plays a lot of Project Zomboid, doing the similar kind of run to us where it's kill a hell of a lot of zombies. Different setup, like where we're doing absurd populations, no respawn. Mr. Lamprey is doing Insane Pop with respawn, but the goal is, I think, extremely rare loot and stuff like that, but the goal is to kill 1 million zombies over the course of 10 in-game years. Mr. Lamprey does like to go for those really long runs. How's maintenance skill? It's 7, almost 8. Alright, I might want to take a moment before the helicopter gets here and grab another crowbar out of the trunk of the fire truck, because this one is a little broken. Like, it'll be fine for probably a good 20 more zombies or so, but then you start getting to the point where RNG may take away my main weapon. Oh yeah, that's no problem. Like, that was one of the things... Oh no, we're tired. That is not something I had planned for. But we can address that. I have more than enough vitamins. And literally I say, oh, we're drowsy, and the helicopter's like, drowsy, you say? Did somebody say they were vulnerable? Yeah. I fully expect people who stream for more than a couple hours a day to catch up and pass me so far as to like survival time, kill counts, and all that. Just because I do play more than just Project Zomboid. I play Project Zomboid 4 days a week. So anyone who plays like 6 or 7 days a week but not quite as long streams will probably pass me. Yep, I have tons of coffee back at the house, but I never remember to bring it. Instead, I just have all of the vitamins. I think I have like 8 things of vitamins on us. So rather than like hunting these zombies down and fighting, I'm just going to let the helicopter bring them to me while I choke down vitamins as fast as we can, basically in prep. We're just taking our supplements before our workout. You know, pre-gaming the protein or whatever. Whatever. I don't know anything about that. I'm actually pretty sure you're supposed to take the protein after your workout, but you know, I don't do that, so couldn't answer. These zombies are really not interested. There we go. Lulu cashed in 10 push-ups, so we'll just add the suspense by I will quickly knock out these push-ups, and then we'll see how this helicopter works out. Alright, here we go. We've choked down 2 entire containers of vitamins. Now let's just start killing zombies. I don't really know how many zombies we're gonna get here. I do feel like this is one of those ones, like where Ekron, I was surprised by how many zombies showed up. I do feel like with all the forests around here, it very well could turn into an absolute disaster. Alright, you have yourself a good lurk, Mr. Lamprey. Thank you again for tuning in. But yeah, so I could certainly see after like the second or third pass that we might get a absolutely ridiculous number of zombies. I don't think one pass would be enough to bring too much, though. Oh yeah, no, it happens. Like I said, we all start there. I was joking with the other people I've been playing multiplayer with who are all fairly new. They're only like their 5th or 6th time playing the game. And like they're getting to the point where they're comfortable like fighting small groups and that, but even then they quite often will take injuries and hits. And that's being new. That's not like good, bad, or otherwise for them as players. But, like, I did make the comment to them a few times. They're like, oh, I died so much. It's like, oh, I died so much more than you did. Like, don't feel bad. I died so much more than any other people I played multiplayer with. And granted, part of that is because, you know, they can watch how I play. They can, like, you know, get advice versus I didn't look up anything. I just, you know, I just ran straight at the first zombie, went, you know, just holding the left mouse button, just swinging away, and then, you know, with a swing, get bitten. So, like, they do way better than I've been doing. Or when I started, for, like, the same amount of playtime. Like, when you watch some of us who are just killing over 1,000 zombies, like, in a single day and all that. Those of us killing over 1,000 zombies in a single day and all that. You know, that's like we're at, like, 8, 9, 100 hours, 1,000 hours, like... We have fought and lost many, many, many fights with the zombies to get to that point. And we've had plenty of deaths that we just did stupid stuff without thinking about, like where you shatter a window. The game even tells you, like, hey, when you break a window, like, remove the glass, it's going to cut you up. And you just forget about them when you go, oh great, now I've got deep wounds on both my hands and my arm. Like, this will help my survival. There's the zombies. I figured we'd get a decent number of zombies. It's not ridiculous yet, but a decent number. I do imagine one more pass, and this is going to get really hairy. That's actually the reason I very specifically went to turn off the radar on, or the radio, not radar, the radio in my car, and to cut off the engine. Because I am figuring there's a good chance we get just overrun. And if that happens, I want to make sure the zombies don't swarm the car. So I have a getaway vehicle. So as always, secure your exit. Always have a plan for if things don't work out the way you want it, how you're going to get away from that place. And yes, walking away is a completely acceptable thing, so long as you have a path you expect to be mostly safe. May have actually taken too many vitamins. There's a good chance it could be nightfall and my character's still going to be like fully alert and awake. Which is fine, that's what sleeping tablets are for. That's how you deal with these types of things. You go, oh, I'm not ready for sleep. Here, let me take a whole bunch of stimulants. Oh, now I'm tired, let me take a whole bunch of depressants. That's okay, right? Mixing? And for the record, I'm being incredibly sarcastic. Don't mix your stimulants and your depressants. That's how you have all sorts of really awful things happen. So that sounds like it was a two-passer helicopter. So that's honestly a little underwhelming. Some mods that I would actually sit there and say, hey, you're still new to the game, that are still worth getting, is minimal display bars, which is this thing with the bars up here, can be really helpful. And I'll go in that in a minute. And then weapon condition indicator, which is the thing down here where it's showing how much durability I've left in my weapons. To me, that isn't a thing that reflects any bit of experience. Like, the idea of, okay, your weapon breaks knowing when it's going to break. It doesn't really matter how long you've been playing, that's just useful. It's also good for providing information of like, oh, this weapon breaks much faster than that weapon. Like, I can visibly see it does, without having to like pull up a wiki page or do it 1,000 times going, oh right, it does break easier. But this one can be helpful because then you can start seeing, okay, as I attack with stuff, my endurance goes down. If I'm not doing things, my endurance goes up. I can actually see the relationship between weight gain and calories. Like, it kind of helps figure those things out that are not particularly well explained by the game, that you're left to just kind of trial and error your way through. Thing of the follow, burgers. Could also be burfers, I'm not sure. But either way, thing of the follow. If I pronounce it wrong, let me know, and I'll try and do better in the future. I do not think that helicopter's coming back for another pass. I think the helicopter has called it a night. That was a bad, what, 50, 60 maybe zombie kills, I'd guess? Maybe more? I wasn't really paying attention to the exact count. But yeah, those are some I would definitely consider. One, maybe not right away at the very, very beginning, but once you start getting a bit comfortable, is I actually find Pillow's random spawn mod to be a very good mod for learning your way around the map. All it does is it doesn't let you choose like your spawn spot. It will unceremoniously dump you somewhere on the map. So once you get to that point where you're like, okay, I can fight zombies, I know the basics, it's not a bad one for learning the map, because otherwise you'll end up having the habit of going, like, here's the 1 or 2 places I spawn every time, and then I'll go to these 1 or 2 specific places from there to get these 1 or 2 specific things. Like, you'll get in this habit where you'll play the same way round after round, and that can actually get pretty boring, honestly. And it means once you finish that area, you're kind of put off balance because you just don't know the rest of the map. But with the Pillow's random spawn mod, sometimes you're just like, well, it's put me someplace that I know nothing about, so I guess I will be figuring that out now. Jump scare sound. Probably another one that saw us go into the bedroom. Or into the house. Okay. So, we're too lively to go to sleep right now. And I do want to make sure we actually get a proper night's sleep. So we're going to take our sleepy time drugs. Yes, I absolutely did. That is some pristine toilet water. And also, standards slip a lot when you're in a survival situation.